Okay, I'm not ready, but here we go anyway.
You went to the Bluetooth setting, right? Hello there.
Yes,
Hello.
It's a
Bluetooth
ninja
setting.
monkey.
Okay.
Hi,
It
Ida.
says
So,
try
Hello.
again,
why
but
does
it's
it
appearing.
so it appears.
Alright,
Yeah.
being cool does not work out.
So at the top it should say
Couldn't breathe.
add Bluetooth or other device, right?
Oh, I thought you were trying to go ninja monkey on us.
No, I
That's
was
just
like,
COVID stuff.
I was like, here, let me wear my mask and have like my hood up to be like a cool spooky DM, but then my hood wouldn't go over my headphones, so it's just like I am uncomfortable. I can't breathe. You shaved your head, Ray?
Yes.
When'd that
No,
happen?
somebody stole his hair. It was me.
Yeah, Pump stole my hair. I was sleeping and then I woke up like this.
I have
That's
now
funny.
the kingly locks.
Oh, and by the way, Kat, I was wrong about Light's gender. She is a female.
I am, yes.
Okay.
She's smiling, surprised.
Me? I'm surprised.
No, I'm surprised. I thought you were going to be upset.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I told them that you were going to be upset, so now you have to pretend like you're upset so you don't seem like a liar again.
Why did you tell them I was gonna be upset?
Because you told me that you were going to be upset.
What did I not say that?
You didn't say
I
it straight
said-
up, but your vocal tones said it to me.
No,
And
I'll tell
as
you
a
what I
theater
said.
major, I have to know how to read this stuff.
I said,
So,
do
like,
we
you
have
know,
any?
You just really. You just...
I said, do we have any girls in this campaign? And you said, no, we don't. And I was like,
Not
oh,
even
well, that's
Kat?
fine.
I
I'll
didn't
just
say
get the
no.
most
I didn't say
attention.
no. I said I don't know. I said I
No,
don't
you
know.
said no. You said I
it's
don't think
different.
we
It's
do.
different.
I'm just watching EJ die in the background.
I'm just so confused. What did I walk into?
What do you mean? You're the person.
It's not a
Oh.
wall. I'll tell you that much.
You have
It's
made
not a
this
window
group.
either.
I know,
Could be more.
but that's not what I'm questioning.
No,
Kat's
no, no,
the
no.
new
It's
DM, by the
literally,
way, because she started the call.
it's literally a Discord window.
I'm in pain. My brain can't process this.
Ich bin
You have
schockiert.
Narnia behind you, Ray.
He does.
I should put that
Voyage
Anyway.
of
Hi
the
guys.
Dawn Trader.
Glad to have
Hello.
y'all here. I'm excited.
The
Uh,
last
I'm
one.
excited too.
Yay. So before we can actually, start doing D&D stuff, we do need to talk a little bit about like character stuff.
Boring.
So we can do kind of like the character introductions to each other, talk a little bit about it. And I still don't know Kat or Pumpkin's backstories or motivations in any
You
regard.
see, I thought I had
so...
an extra day. I was working on writing it up, but then
Oh,
my
gotcha.
dad was like, "Hey, I'm gonna set up the Wi-Fi." I was like, "Oh, great! I can't access Google Docs."
Oh no. That's unfortunate. I guess you could've
or I can't
Xbox.
also edit the
character page.
character either.
I mean, you could write it on a piece of paper and then just transfer it over later or something.
No, that's hard because I need to help him set up, so I can't do both at the same time.
I see. Oh, you were helping him. I gotcha. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. We can either talk about it now or
I talked it out. So, I
Gotcha.
mean, it's okay.
yeah, I just need to know, and then I'll improvise the how everyone meets each other. It'll be great. Should be fun.
Hey, how do I find the page where all of it's on, not by EJ's link pump? You'd sent it to me
just through
previously.
D&D Beyond.
It's not working because I don't have the account.
Oh, you mean the link to the stuff. I did send it to you before.
The stuff.
Do you need to get to your character sheet or the whole party?
No,
or...
the campaign page.
Got it.
Because if you click on the invite one, then it just takes you to the like join with a new character.
Gotcha. I've pinned it.
And then EJ, I didn't add the item we talked about.
Yeah, neither did
to...
I.
Okay.
It's fine. We'll deal with that at some point.
Okay.
We're still a little behind as far as setup goes, but
Yeah,
that doesn't stop us from at least, having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I'm in two separate places now, Kat.
Is it? I don't see it.
In DMs with me and this DMs of this call. It's not called DMs.
I'm gonna take one ear of my headphones off.
Excuse me.
Because otherwise I can't hear myself and I feel the need to shout.
You can also just take the website, do /campaigns /1608503.
You could, or you could not.
What email I used?
I think you ended up using Gmail. Like you can sign back in with your Gmail
Yeah,
account.
but I want to know which Gmail account.
You
Oh, it
use
worked.
one of
Never
them.
mind. It's good. We're good.
Mhm. So, sorry for the awkward silence. I don't know how interrupting I should be with the tech support.
Very.
So
Please
Ray,
help.
since you're the one who decided on your character first, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself with your character? Like who they are and what's their deal?
Okay. My character, despite what the character sheet says, because of D&D Beyond, is a kinku, but she is a very special kinku called Mama Swizzle. She's a few thousand years old, cursed to only speak her name, and she cannot die normally. She's out to figure out how to remove both curses, basically. She did it by angering a woodland god. She can be a bit hard-headed and pranksterish, and she's a druid.
Yep. And her typical forms of communication are, instead of speaking...
Oh, smells, right, yeah.
Cool. Light, you want to talk a little bit about yours?
Sure. So I am playing a human paladin. Her name is Carmen Rogers. She comes from the Mountain Kingdom Luminous, and she is currently on the hunt for someone she is supposed to protect.
She sounds like a white protagonist of a Marvel movie. Like you know.
Like Taken or
Well,
something?
what is the
Yeah.
girl? Captain Marvel. Yes, her.
Oh.
Oh, because of the Rogers?
Wait, is her
No,
last name
because
actually
they're
Rogers?
girls.
No, Danvers,
Yeah.
but it's similar.
What? Okay, it's Danvers. Cara Danvers?
Cara Zor-El.
Carol.
Cara Zor-El. Yeah, that's Supergirl.
At least she knew the difference.
Alright, so I'm gonna need more details about Pumpkin and or Cat so I can figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can start if you would like.
Go for it.
So obviously I'm Eric Cochran, Birdie Man.
Mhm.
But my character was not raised with Eric Cochran.
Mhm.
He was tossed away in the material plane when he was an infant, and taken up by criminals to help with their heists and stuff because I could fly. So they raised me and basically only used me whenever there was going to be a robbery or something like that. And one of these said robberies, I am trying to fly away from a particularly nasty one, where the building that we are getting away from is on fire. And I burn my left wing, so it is scarred. Feathers like are splotchy there. It's lacking in feathers. And then with my other wing, I was shot with an arrow, and that is permanently damaged as well. So the wing does not sit fully properly. So right wing doesn't sit well. Left wing is has a lack of feathers, so I can no longer fly. Because of that, the criminals cast me aside, and I ended up wandering for several years before I found a monk monastery. I'll let you like go into specifics of like where these locations are and like who the specific people who did this are.
I will
We'll
make
talk
it.
more about it. Yeah, we'll talk more about it as well. But I find the monastery. They take me in as a monk, and yeah, I'm just thankful for that, and now I'm out to try and help other people because of my horrible past. But I have a background as a criminal. That's basically the thing. Some things I do need to talk to you about, though, are because I was not really raised as an Aarakocra.
Mhm.
Am I going to be speaking the language?
I would say you could have like a vague familiarity with the language, but maybe you
Mhm.
don't know it as well as someone who
Yeah.
is actually raised among their people.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I figured. I figured I wouldn't have much of the language. Maybe I'd be able to like get by with a little bit of it, like the
Mhm.
basic hello, goodbye stuff. And would I have thieves' cant?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll make those edits.
All right.
Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, I'm
Cool.
a goose as well. I look like a goose.
Like a Canada
I have
goose.
long neck. I have a I'm a Canadian goose.
Sheep that have sharp teeth, like
Those things,
scary sharp teeth.
those
Oh,
things lay
but-
eggs on my lawn every spring.
Yikes.
You're welcome.
Oh man.
Do you lay eggs?
You're
Tom?
welcome.
No, I'm a male.
I'm
Some
just
male
curious.
I
species-
think the males.
I wondered if you laid eggs.
Yikes.
you.
I'll get
pumpkin,
back to
not
you
your
on that
character.
at the end of the month.
So what I'm getting from your character is you flew the coop, you fell out of the nest, and then other various bird puns.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
you fell in with some bad
and my
eggs.
name is. that was the idea. That was the idea.
Yeah, I'm just running it. Sorry.
You do not have to accept this, but the religion that I kind of wanted to it all to revolve around was Untitled Goose ism. So if you're fine with that, then we'll roll with that. Otherwise,
EJ dying.
scratch it. Up to you.
What does
and
Untitled Gooseism believe or?
there
Chaos.
there is a great untitled goose. We call it the Untitled Goose because to speak its name would be a sin.
Like
that-
Yeshua.
that will one day fly down upon the heavens and reunite the material plane with the elemental plane.
Killing everyone in the process.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't
man.
drink the goose Kool-Aid. Hooray!
I'm not sure how to take
Oh.
Goose
this,
aid.
this new information here.
Goose egg, goose egg.
Oh boy, so it's like that pillar worshipping the unknown god, except it's to the untitled goose.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's the
Interesting.
Untitled Goose.
I'll think about it. I'll consider it. You know what?
Sure.
Why not?
And the name
Thought about it
is
for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
thing,
kind of how my DMing
promise.
goes sometimes. What'd you say?
Last thing I promise is the name is Qzeth
Qzeth. I was gonna ask how to pronounce
or
that.
Qzeth. Either one works.
Okay. I would have thought Zeeth based on looking at the spelling, but who am I to say how it's spelled? Which way do you prefer?
Zeeth. I don't know why I said Zeth first. It just
Okay.
happened
Gotcha.
to. So now either one works because we're not retconning that.
So you're going your purpose in life now is going out and trying to find people to help.
Essentially.
Okay.
I
Neat.
can't remember what I wrote it down as because I actually did have like that
Okay.
somewhere.
Cool. And Kat, last but not least, what's your character about?
I'm Ananias. Hi, Ananias. And
Ananias.
I'm a changeling. So I don't really have a gender. I mean, I can choose to be whatever I'd like. I'm just going to be whatever fits the situation. However, I'm a lazy one. So I'm always wearing a black hood and you can't see my face, it'll cover it. And like black robes because I just can't be bothered, you know, and it's easier that way. I'm about 6 foot
So wait,
and
do you only change halfway?
No, I don't
everything on
change-
the-
no, I don't change at all. You can't
No,
see
no,
anything
no,
when
no,
I'm wearing this
I'm
black.
saying like when you go from like one species to another, do you only change like the
Oh yeah, I
face
only
and the
change
hands?
what is viewed. Yeah, of course, because I'm getting it done
Super
the
lazy.
right way. I'm conserving energy. I'm doing the right thing. So I'm a bit lazy. However,
So 95%
I-
of your
I'm
body's covered, you're
extremely-
just changing like a couple facial features. That's it.
I'm extremely religious, and I follow a cult called the Movement.
And you were saying
And-
that I was drinking the Kool-Aid.
No. And so, there may be sacrifices that I make for this cult, and I'm close knit with its followers.
Oh boy.
What do you want?
Just trying to figure out how I can incorporate
He's
this.
just like, this is so much to add in.
No, it's fine. So what? I guess if it's a cult that sacrifices things, do you worship a god, or is it just kind of a we do what we want?
Well,
and
I made a deal with a god, and that is that I'm a warlock. So I made a deal with one of the gods,
which one?
and the goose, and
Oh my goodness.
You've
and
seen my goose leader.
so I'm kind of indebted to him, so I had to devote my entire life for him in exchange for my powers.
I was
You
actually
know-
gonna have that play out during this session, but now I don't know what to do.
I mean, you don't have to mention him by name, and I just call my religion the Movement, and we speak about it in hush hush.
Gotcha. I'm not sure what to do.
I mean, it doesn't matter what god it is, EJ, so it doesn't
Would
even
you
have to be
Would you
the
be okay
goose.
with
Should be the lamb.
this happening during the session, like this?
Yeah, I
this
don't
deal
care.
Going down, or did you want it? Okay, to already be established. Just making sure. Alrighty.
I am already part of this religion, yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So,
Anything else you need to know about that?
not for right now. Well,
Okay.
I'll fly by the seat of my pants, as always. So,
Hamilton!
that
Yes,
wasn't intended
because
to be a
that's the only
reference.
place that's ever said.
Yes. Every phrase that has ever been used in a media, now it only belongs to that media. So yeah, I'm excited. I feel slightly awkward because everyone's so quiet and just focused only on me, which makes sense because I'm the DM. But as far as
It
the
was at
world
your
goes,
house.
Hmm?
That's how it was at your house.
When you
Everyone
did
was staring at me?
D&D, when you were
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't remember what it was like actually being in
he
the moment.
literally blocked it from
I
his
edited
memory.
it too many times, so I don't have the footage in my mind anymore. So
You mean the original?
if you guys want to take a brief look at, well, you know what? Let me just give a brief like overview of the world and just general things that most characters would probably know just from living in the world. So this world is a, as I said, a high magic kind of world. So it's basically, think of it like the Industrial Revolution of magic. Like people are starting to invent new crazy things, finding new ways they can combine like the message spell plus the sending spell and like send long range messages. People have learned a way to basically take some lead and wrap it around like a crystal and create a wire that can transmit magical spells across longer distances or preserve them and let them do more interesting things. New mechanical creations are being created to do various different tasks, and generally the world is progressing. On this world, an important thing that everyone would be aware of, but maybe not necessarily question because it's kind of a normal thing, would be this world has, as I posted in that picture a long time ago, there's the planet that you guys are on, and then there's a giant moon, like really close to it. They're basically kind of stuck in an orbit around each other, so the same face of the planet are always facing each other, and there's actually a very large city that's built between these two planets, basically caught between the gravity of both of them. So it's kind of like a weightless, weird zone where physics are a bit wonky because of that, and people have used that to create all sorts of weird they've used that to basically build a city that doesn't require weight, and done some neat things with it. So there's a lot of cool places and interesting things in this world. There's places where lots of research is being done into new ways to use magic, and yeah, but not you guys might not have necessarily ever visited these locations, but you would definitely be aware that there's at least a giant moon that is basically the same size as the original planet that is orbiting like this. It's just been that way for ages. It's called Roche, by the way, the moon. And then there's another normal-sized moon, just like off in the distance, that orbits as normal and goes through moon phases. That's kind of all the major things that you'd need to know. Obviously, there's like political strife and wars, as always, but that might not affect you in your day-to-day lives. So, I think we're all ready. You guys ready to begin doing things, or do you have questions,
EJ,
or-
check DM real quick, just so you know a tiny bit of information.
Okay.
You get my dice out while you do that.
Oh, I need to
Oh,
get my dice
DJ,
out
I
too.
found my dice.
You did? Nice.
Yes.
Glad to hear it. Hey, everyone's got dice.
Here, if you need a pair, here.
Thank you.
I am gonna use the green ones for Carmen, I think. Oh, I actually have a picture that I made of her that I can
wanna
drop
see
in the
it.
group chat.
Fun.
I love seeing art of
There it
people's
is.
Oh,
characters.
nice.
Let me see. Let me
Oh,
see.
the
Let me
difference
see.
in the eyes is nice.
Ooh, wow, that's really good. Did you do that?
It's a character maker, so it
Ah.
wasn't like hand drawn. I'm not
Okay.
that talented.
I was gonna say,
I'm
you,
working
you
on
do
it, though.
Twitch artwork?
I'm working on it though.
I was
That's
gonna
super
ask,
cool.
do you do Twitch artwork?
No, all my stuff is paper and pen.
Well, that can get scanned, and then you.
Thank you for explaining.
You're welcome.
EJ, do you have the picture I did of this world that I did on the
Mhm.
phone?
Yeah, it's in this group chat. I can.
What?
pin
It
if you'd
is?
Like, yep. It was sent a while
Can you
ago.
resend it so I can see it?
I can pin it so that you can click back to it easily.
Okay, that works.
Even more fun.
Room. Now I just need to find it. Much scrolling. And like I said, not every detail of this picture is canon because, scaling and how the continents and oceans are laid out, but it is
So
a...
I
according
also
to
drew this
picture,
by scribbling with my thumb on the phone, so I wouldn't
according
say
to
it
this
was.
Looks super
picture,
cool.
I can get from there to there by moving just a millimeter.
No.
Obviously.
No, I just meant like the size of an airship or whatever shown in this picture. I need to see it again.
I can step across the ocean.
For sure.
Yeah, that's how distance works. You say I'm going to walk over there, and then you do it.
Exactly.
Yes, travel time is only as long as you say it is.
Basically.
I mean, there are magic circles and teleportation networks around, so like if you ever need to get somewhere far away, you can always find like either a common area in a city, or you can pay someone to like teleport you someplace. Just so you know that that's an option. I think I'm ready to go. I mean, by that I mean I'm not ready at all because I learned backstories like 2 seconds ago, but I'm
Okay,
going to
bye.
try to make it work. And so as I've been preparing for this campaign for a while. I've had a bunch of ideas and stuff, but the place I'm going to put you guys right now, just so we can all meet up and start things going, is not where I've prepared. This is going to be a different location. So I mean, I've got a lot of preparation for other things later down the road, but if I make things up, bear with me. I am not. I don't have a brain.
That way, when we inevitably blow up the place, it won't matter. Because you've just made it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
He's encouraging us to destroy the place.
Well, let's hear where we are first.
Yeah, alright. So we start off with Mama Swizzle. Mama Swizzle, you, as a Kenku, have, as a druid more specifically, have been living out in a forest for quite some time. You've been having a nice, happy existence, kind of doing your thing, occasionally popping into civilization in the nearby towns to, cause some chaos, make some people upset at you for no reason, and then retreat to your wilderness home where you, get some nuts and berries and have a nice meal, go to sleep. But on this particular morning, you're suddenly awakened by the sound of and the ground rumbles, causing you to jolt awake. you're in your little underground den with nice dirt walls, and it's well kept. A little bit dirty, but still warm. Nice, good place to shelter. What would you like to do?
Well, first I get up from my patchwork leaf bed and I stretch and crack all my bones. Not a circle. Not a circle. After
daily routine.
After a few minutes of pain in my back, I finally straighten out and get to work on looking for some berries out in the wilderness. Oh, and a couple of rocks too.
Okay. So you ignore the sound. You walk out your door and you just begin.
Yep.
And, do you have fingers or like what's a kenku like exactly? I guess they don't have wings, right?
Their wings are their hands, kind of.
Okay.
You can think of fat, feathery hands.
Gotcha. Okay. Just making sure that you have finger strength. So yeah, you roll me a survival check real quick to look for
All right.
berries and
That
food
D20?
source. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
It's been a while
ideas.
since. Yeah. Survival. Okay. Nat 20.
You find an abundance of berries and nuts. You even find like a full-on like trove of mushrooms hidden behind a little old rock that you haven't looked at before. I meant to say old log, but rock. My bad. So yeah, you found more than enough food for probably the whole day, maybe even more than one day, and you can. begin
Okay, I
moving
just
about.
pick enough to get what I need, but I leave enough behind for it to regrow.
Gotcha. And there are also several stones of varying sizes that you can use for
I
whatever
I
you
just need
like.
whatever can fit in my pocket.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you grab however many, 3 or 4 rocks about the size of your fist,
Okay.
smooth river stones. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to Carmen. Carmen Rogers,
Okay.
you've been traveling for quite a while, trying to seek out leads as to where your missing prince has gone. So far, you've kind of been following a trail that's led to a dead end, so now you're just trying to get to the next destination so you can find a place to rest. It's about mid-morning, I'd say, so you've been traveling for not too long for the day, but you're arriving close by to a new a new city that you haven't been to before. You're approaching, from what you can tell on the maps and like hearsay that you talk to people about directions, you're arriving at the metropolis of Westwood. It's a largely expanding city. Was once a pretty small little town, but now it's kind of exploded in population, and well, with the Industrial Revolution and everything going on, it's certainly grown to catastrophic proportions. You are walking along this road, and suddenly you enter into a clearing where most of the trees are chopped down. There's just a bunch of stumps laying about, and you can see like far off in the distance, like maybe a mile at this point, you see 1 or 2 trees just falling. As you're approaching the town, you can see the town off to your left, maybe 2 miles out, and these trees are being felled a mile out in front of you. What would you like to do?
It looks like people are felling these trees. Like, can I see?
You would assume, yeah. It doesn't look like anything
Okay.
is exploding.
With that in mind, I'll just keep an eye out on like the forest around me, just out of curiosity's sake, see if I get any intuition feelings of the world around me as I make my way closer to the Westwood.
Mm-hmm. So you're keeping like your paladin senses tingling or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you use your actual divine sense, or do you just kind of like pay attention to nature?
It's more of paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
She has no reason to believe that there's anything evil going on.
Mm-hmm. As far as things go with the forest around you, you're you're passing into the clearing, obviously. So there once was a thick forest surrounding you, but now is merely a bunch of stumps and stuff. The shrubbery has largely been patted down and crushed beneath the feet of whoever was chopping these trees down. You can see footprints along the road in the dirt, so it's clear that it's a humanoid footstep, it seems. And you don't hear as many animals in this area, just because they've all kind of headed for the hills. So it's a bit eerily quiet, I guess, but there's still some birds kind of chirping in the distance. Nothing seems to really catch your eye, nothing extremely out of the ordinary. Just seems to be a typical day of people doing their work.
Okay. Then I suppose I will go to the city then, just as I walk.
Alrighty, so you continue walking down the road that eventually will get to Westwood very soon. Let's move on to, let's see, which one do I want to go to? Need to remember how to pronounce this name. Qzeeth. We'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So Qzeeth, you are currently in a large room, almost like a gymnasium kind of thing, to fit the large white dragon that is kind of curled up to be able to fit in this room. They look comfortable. They're not like completely cramped in there uncomfortably, but they are in this room, same as you, and you are kind of sitting in a chair, just casually looking out into a semicircle of other chairs, each of which contains another person or humanoid creature. You can see a small goblin sitting in one of the chairs, his legs dangling off the edge. He's got some twitchy fingers that are kind of like messing with something, and he seems a little fidgety, like nervous, not sure if he wants to be there. You see a humanoid, or a human, who looks old and haggard. He's kind of a little drowsy, it seems, his eyes twitching as he sits there. And of course, the dragon, who's curled around this whole group, is laying there and has one like damaged wing, kind of the same as you. It's got a wing that seems like it's never really been used. It's kind of shriveled and non-functional. Wouldn't be able to be used for flight, whereas his other wing is folded back behind him. You would know that this dragon's name is. Let me look it up. This dragon's name is. I can't read. Help. I have too
That's
many
a
notes here.
unique name. I can't read. Help.
No, that is not the name.
If you want to. Sir
Okay.
can't read. Can't
Aerie.
read.
A-I-R-I. Her name is Aerie, and she's an adult.
Aerie. Okay.
Yeah, A-I-R-I. She's an adult white dragon, and she's kind of like curled around the group, and she's like looking down upon you as you're giving a brief speech about, hey, you know, we've all been through tough times. If you'd like to say it. It's basically a group that's trying to help people get over their various like disabilities or addictions or whatever, like Alcoholics Anonymous kind of thing. So you're leading this group as far as how to improve yourselves. What are you saying?
Our
Sorry to put you on the spot
injuries
here.
may be permanent, but they are a part of us. And we must better ourselves by pushing forwards despite the disabilities that have been put forth our way. For me, the Untitled Goose has saved me, and joining the monastery, I have found a new strength from within inside of me. I encourage you all to seek out to better yourselves, just as I have done, and now own this amazing support group. Please see me afterwards if you have any questions. I know this is our first meeting, but it has been great getting to know you all.
Oh, thanks so
I'm assuming
much.
that it
It's
was
really
ending.
been nice. Speaks up a guy who's a dark elf who doesn't have a nose. It looks kind of like Voldemort.
Thank you. So I was assuming that the meeting had basically been ending because I didn't want to do a whole
Yeah,
spiel.
yeah, that's completely
Um,
fine. That's the vibe I was going
so
for.
I would know all their names. What is their name?
The guy who just spoke up, his name is Elsie.
Thank you very much, Elsie. It's been a pleasure.
Hold on, just writing down Elsie is Voldemort. So yeah, the people begin to stand up, glad for your speech. A couple of them kind of come up to you and wring your hand or your wing, depending on what it is. Do you have hands? Or...
I have free arms. The wings are
Okay,
separate.
gotcha. So they wring your hands and they're like, "Thank you for your wise words. I'll try to use this in my life to better myself and try to have hope again." And they all begin to leave one by one. The dragon
Honk
stays.
honk to you. Honk honk to you. Not really. Not really.
Excuse me, what?
it's the goose.
The goose farewell.
To you.
Yeah.
Goose farewell.
So they all begin standing up and leaving the room. This is not actually a place that you own, as you said. This is not like your business that you own or anything.
Mhm.
But you were a part of this group and you were giving a guest lecture here. The dragon is actually the one
okay,
who's in charge of that. But since I didn't tell you that, don't worry about it. It's fine. They
Mhm.
The dragon's not angry at you for taking command.
Great.
Um.
I mean, we can just say that it was more of me saying I having this opportunity to talk to you all.
Yeah. Something like that.
I tried to not straight up,
Mhm. So the dragon looks down at you and she's like, "Good speech. Well said."
Thank you. I'm glad that my adventuring led me here to be able to spend this time to help you out.
Two.
Two?
That was Ray. But
Yeah, I know. I'm
two.
confused.
I
I don't know
guess I
what he
said
was saying.
two a lot in that sentence.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so with that, I don't really know what else the dragon would say after that, so I'm just going to move on to Ananias for now, if that's alright. Ananias, you are currently in, need to look up the name. You are in the Owl's Nest Temple. It is the Temple of Westwood, and it's currently, or it's a temple where people come and worship their many different deities. You can see that there's a altar to the god Torm, the god of courage and self-sacrifice. There's another I keep forgetting the word for altar. There's another altar for Mystra, goddess of magic, and for Sylvanus, god of wild nature. But what draws your attention most is the altar off to the side in the corner that no one seems to be paying attention to, of the Untitled Goose. It is the shrine of the Untitled Goose, and
I didn't expect it to be such a big religion. I'm sorry for you, EJ.
I didn't expect it either.
EJ did not wake up this morning expecting
thought that-
Untitled Goose to be a
I
thing.
thought that
I
it
did
was just
not.
going to be a small religion that, I traveled up to the mountains to find. But no.
No,
this
you're
is
spreading this religion already. They've already
Oh, it's
constructed.
only been me. I'm
Yeah,
the only
it's
person
just
who's
you
gone down
people.
from the mountain.
You've forced them to incorporate a new shrine into this place. That's why it's in the corner, basically a broom closet that's been repurposed. Because no one expected this to make
Just
such
put
a
the
big
goose
change.
in the linen closet. We get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Kat, you're walking over to this shrine of your deity, and as you do, you notice that there's someone else sitting there. They have their hood pulled up as well, and they're kind of chanting under their breath with their head bowed. What would you like to do? There are other patrons, of course, wandering off to bring their sacrifices to their various gods. Are you?
We don't hear you, Cat.
We can't hear you right now.
Check on Discord, see if you have the right mics hooked up. Just keep on shaking your head until we're
Until
able
it
to
fixes
hear.
itself, clearly. It says you're deafened now. Oh, I guess that's recent, probably.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay,
How are
wonderful.
you?
Have y'all not been able to hear me this whole time?
We were able to
Nope.
hear you up until I started with Ray, I think.
I think.
Okay,
it's
that's
supposed to-
good.
Okay.
What was it? So this is one of those temples like in Rome.
Yeah, it's
Where-
like a
okay.
pantheon kind of temple where you can worship various different gods.
All right. Well, then I
Side
get
note,
down on
is
my
the
knees
Untitled
and
Goose like an evil god or is it a good god? Because it
No, it's
seems like we
evil.
have
Good
two different
god.
alignments.
It's a good god.
well, no. Listen, we are worshiping the same God. However, we have completely different motivations. See, I have the view that this God is evil, and I want to do bad things in support of him.
It's a mischievous god,
And
but it's still a good god. I mean, it's inspired from the Untitled Goose game, so you know.
That's where they
That
started a religious war in the first
and,
20 minutes
and
of the
so
campaign.
maybe it's like Mormonism and
War.
Christianity, and they just don't
Yeah.
get along.
It
So
could
I'm a
also
different
be a
I'm a
two-faced
different
god.
denomination of Untitled Goose.
Yeah.
I'm a mountain goose. You are a valley goose.
No, I'm a cave for sure.
Cave goose. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
cave goose. So there's the two different denominations: mountain goose and cave goose. The mountain is on top, and then the cave is on the inside of the mountain.
Yeah, but we don't call ourselves cave geese. We call it the movement.
I don't
Okay,
know what's
and you-
happening.
You can't.
I feel
you
like we're
can't
watching
keep
the
its
birth
name.
of a religion, and I'm terrified.
It's not the first time this has happened. Remember Bushism, Ray?
Yes, I remember Bushes.
Every single time that I ever do.
All right,
D&D,
I take a seat
always have a
Next
joke
to
at
the
end.
worshiper
Mhm,
who is at
like on
this
your knees.
tiny altar.
Okay. sounds
What
good.
language is he speaking?
If you listen closely, you can hear him muttering in Abyssal, which is one of the languages you know, correct?
That's one I wrote down.
Gotcha. Alright, so you can hear him muttering to himself, and he's like, "Oh, Lord Untitled Goose." I cannot take myself seriously, like now.
Call it Untitled Goose then. Call it God of the Movement. If you are referring to my denomination, I do not want to hear Untitled Goose. I do not want to hear it. That is slander.
You were the one who
That is
chose to be a
slander.
part of this.
That is slander.
Oh,
Against my
God of the
religion.
movement. I don't know what's happening. Please help me.
Okay, so EJ, basically you can think of Muslim God and Christianity God. They have two completely different point of views, and they do not. Muslims do not believe that Jesus was the Son of God.
I'm aware
Well,
how
we
different
Christians-
religions work. I'm just trying to. It's a religion about an untitled goose. So I guess it could be viewed as like pumpkin. You explained it as like we believe that untitled goose is gonna come one day and like reunite the world or whatever. Whereas everyone else is like, ah yes, the untitled goose is going to bring the material plane and the elemental plane together, and everyone will die.
Oh,
Let's
and it's
bring
gonna
it on
destroy
death.
it. So like in my mind, it's like,
So the
oh
positive
yay,
versus the
nice. We're
negative.
gonna join everything together, and in their minds, yes, it's gonna be chaotic.
Yep, it's like pessimism and optimism. Which side of the
Mhm.
coin do you fall on?
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, so this guy sees you approach, and he kind of stops his muttering, and he looks up at you, and he's like, "The sun rises on another day," expecting you to say some kind of code word in response, which I haven't told you, so you can make up if you'd like.
He almost wanted to say no you.
It's a religion of compliments.
Do it.
You.
The sun rises on you.
The sun rises on another day,
hmm
and it ends again in death.
Oh. Okay.
That's the
Oh,
code
let's
word.
know you
Yep.
more.
So he smiles at you and he's like, good to see you again, my. Does your voice sound male or female right now?
My brother.
Brother.
My
alright.
brethren.
Okay. It ends again in death. Sorry, I'm writing frantic notes as well. I can't think about saying one sentence and writing another at the same time. It's really hard. Yeah, so he's like, are you able to meet with us tomorrow for offering.
Yeah. And I wait for him to slip me a note on parchment because we can't speak aloud onto where it could be.
Mm-hmm. He definitely like holds out a finger or like a parchment clenched in 2 fingers, discreetly. No one else in the temple even seems to care at this point because they're all busy offering to their gods that are more mainstream. He stands and nods his head.
Take a
See you
swig of
tomorrow.
my alcoholic beverage and continue sitting at the statue in silence.
Just the alcoholic beverage, not any specific alcohol. It's just that alcohol. You know that one.
Yeah,
That
it's
one
alcohol
alcoholic
TM.
beverage. They really cornered the market.
Alrighty. What did he say? 2 days from now? 1 day from now? I already forgot. I'm making it up.
You said 1 day from now.
Okay, yeah, tomorrow. So he'll say, I'll see you tomorrow. And then he'll nod his head and turn to walk out, hands in his robe, and mysteriously kind of vanishes into the crowd. I
Similar
assume
to
you
how Kat
stay.
vanished. Oh wait, no, she's back.
I assume you stay at the altar for a
Yeah,
moment.
I'm just chilling there. Yeah.
Okay. Are you sitting, kneeling?
I'm kneeling.
Okay. Do you offer up a prayer to the untitled goose or anything, or to the god of the movement, whatever you want to call it?
I pray silently. It's the god of the movement. Yeah, I'll type that in chat so you'll remember.
Okay. So I gotta call it the same god, 2 different things.
Well, you don't
Is
have
this
to
2 different
think of
gods? I
them as
don't
the
even
same
know.
god. It just happens to be the same god.
Just call them the god.
Just
They're
there's only
clearly,
one god.
it's clearly the superior religion in this world.
It's
so
going
it's
to be
the
by the end of this
god.
campaign, I
Campaign. It's the god.
So, as you're sitting there praying for a moment, you hear a slight and something that's like behind you to your right, still in this little corner broom closet, whatever it is, but you hear like a faint snap of something behind you. What would you like to do?
Okay, I'm freaked out. What was that?
You can turn your head to look at it if you'd like.
I do.
You turn and you see a goose. Just a white goose sitting there staring at you. Curious little beady eyes, but they seem knowledgeable somehow. Takes a swig of alcohol.tm. Oh, you're offering the goose the
Yeah.
alcohol?
Silently.
The goose flaps. He shoved his beak in the container, but can't quite reach the liquid at the bottom.
Oh. Can I like turn it over and I pour alcohol on him?
On him?
Yeah, like.
Alright.
Okay.
So, the altar that you're currently at has a gently flickering flame with sparks falling off of it every once in a while.
No. Oh no.
And you have just doused this poor goose in alcohol. Roll me a d20 and pick, or actually, you know what? I'm gonna roll a d20. Highs or lows?
Highs.
Alrighty. So you watch as a spark from this fire drifts lazily and lands directly onto the back of this goose, who immediately combusts in a large fireball, and you recoil back from the intense heat and brightness all of a sudden, and then you blink for a moment as the fire dies down again, and standing in his place is a well-dressed man, human, and he's just kind of standing there and just shakes his head. Was that intentional?
I nod and I pretend I saw through his guise.
I see. Well played. Anyway, the goose wasn't exactly my first choice of a disguise anyway. So let's go somewhere a little more private, shall we? And he nods for you to follow him elsewhere.
Alcohol, more like lighter fluid. And yes, I follow him.
What did you say about your lighter fluid?
In chat.
It's what I said. I said alcohol TM, more like lighter fluid.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't have the chat pulled up. I have the webcams
It's
maximized.
okay.
Alrighty. So yeah, he kind of gestures off to a side room that is used mainly for maintenance in this temple, and there's absolutely no one anywhere near that room. So he kind of hands or like motions for you to go that way first. By the way, you have no idea who this is. This is kind of an odd occurrence. This man just like appeared out of fire. And while you do get up to some wacky shenanigans with your cult or whatever, this is not quite the kind of thing that happens every day.
I ask him the phrase, the sun rises in the morning.
Yeah, the sun rises on another day. He says,
Yeah.
we don't need any of that. I'm here on a different business, not with the movement.
I go into the room first.
Alrighty. He will follow you in and quickly close the wooden door. He does not lock it or anything. He just walks into the room with you and then sits down on a nearby bench and crosses his legs, looking all, relaxed, like he doesn't have a care in the world. And he smiles at you and he goes, "So, I've seen that you're a changeling."
No, you don't.
No, there's no need to deny it. I've been watching you for quite some time. Now let me get straight to the point. I'm in need of someone with your particular skill set. I had a previous employee, shall we say, who decided to go and do their own thing, and leaving me high and dry in a way that I don't appreciate. So I'm in need of a new helper, shall we say, to do some work for me. On a voluntary basis, of course. Now, you don't need to agree for now, if you don't like. But, I am in need of someone like yourself. You feel what I'm saying here? I understand you have other obligations, of course, but
No, not really. But just go around sacrificing things.
that's the...
I don't understand what you're asking me to do.
Oh, don't worry,
I'm
I'll be in
nothing
touch.
special.
I'll be in touch later with what I actually need you to do. That's part of the deal that we don't need to discuss yet. However, to make things easier for you, and as a symbol, a token of my goodwill, I suppose, I am willing to offer you some otherworldly powers. Does that sound alright with you? So I give you some power to do the things that you need to do, and in exchange, you'll do some work for me when the time comes. Sounds like a win-win?
Yeah.
Very well. Do we have a deal? Whatever I require of you.
Anything.
So he shakes your hand. Excellent.
That's the wrong hand.
I'll see you later. Have a good
not
one.
on my
And
We
screen.
both handed the same hand.
Oh, on my screen it's flipped for EA. So it's opposite. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. It does make sense. So.
Or maybe it's
just
flipped
the
for
most
me on my
awkward
screen.
attempt to shake hands ever. And but yes. So you shake hands, and there's suddenly a spark and a flash of purple energy that kind of swirls around both of your hands, and you feel a rush of something going through you. You don't know if it's like just adrenaline, energy, electricity, but somehow you just feel different all of a sudden. And after this happens, you can suddenly feel, as you're moving your hands through the air, what feels like invisible, like piano chords kind of drifting across your fingers, as though
And
you're
I'm
like,
feeling good.
as though you're stroking like the weave itself, the invisible strands
The weed.
that create the magic of the universe. And you feel as though you could like pull them or twist them and manipulate them in such a way to cause something to happen. It's a unique and strange feeling that you've never experienced before, and that you feel powerful. He smiles and watches you for a moment. What would you like to do?
Am I on like, Interstellar when they're in the black hole like that? You know what I'm talking
Like
about?
the Tesseract? Yeah, it's kind of like that.
No. Well, yeah, okay.
They called it the Tesseract, I think. I don't know. So they're springy and light, as though they could be moved without too much effort.
Okay, I
It's
just
like-
brushed my hand through the magics. Do I distort the fabric of reality? I want to know what happened.
Yes. You brush your fingers across the strings that constitute reality. And almost like a harp, you just kind of wipe your hand across them without any idea what you're doing. Roll me a D100.
Okay. That broke me for a second.
The D100?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't have a die with 100 sides.
You roll 2d10s.
Why don't you have a die with 100 sides? It comes in the set. You see, it's this one.
21.
21. Alrighty. So, interesting. You suddenly feel a rush of healing energy blast through your body, and you gain 8 extra hit points, like temporary hit points beyond your normal health. So you suddenly are just like, whoa, I feel stronger and better. I don't even know how that happened. Also, the fire beside you goes and then goes out entirely, leaving the room in darkness.
Mhm.
And yeah, pretty much total darkness. And you hear the voice laugh. We'll be in touch. Use a little less pinky next time. And then you hear a snap, and you're left in the dark room, presumably alone. Let's move back over to Ray. So Ray, as you're collecting your rocks and your berries, you hear yet another, and the ground rumbles, this time much closer to your home.
Am I still picking those mushrooms and nuts as this happens,
You've
or
already completed that. You've got them in your bag, and you're ready to do
Okay.
whatever you're next attempting to do.
well, if I'm near my house and it's closer to my house like this, I get a little frizzled. The feathers on the back of my neck start standing up. I'm a swizzle, and I go out and try to. Yeah, I use the force to stay hidden,
Oh,
and
I thought you said you used the force.
Is that not what he said?
No, he said the
That's
force.
what I
oh,
We
the
all-
force.
I
I
like how I
used
didn't
the
question.
force.
I like
Yeah.
how I didn't question the fact that Mama Swizzle used the force.
I mean, Baby Yoda, Mama Swizzle, they have to be related.
Obviously.
Maybe. I stay hidden
son
while
should
I
never know
look
about.
for this sound.
You go towards the sound, you said?
Yes, I start going towards the sound, but I like to stay hidden within the forest.
Alright, roll me stealth.
Do I get an advantage since I know the area?
Sure, why not?
Okay. 16 plus 5.
Okie dokie.
21.
21 total. Yeah, you approach the source of the sounds, and as you get closer, you hear laughing, joking of a couple of male voices. They sound in their 30s-ish. You peek your head through the trees, and you see the same clearing that I described to Carmen a little while ago. Just a bunch of tree stumps and foliage being trampled underfoot, you hear vaguely the sounds of wildlife skittering away from their burrows around you, Ray, or Mama Swizzle, as you're approaching and peeking through the clearing, or peeking through the brush into view of this clearing, and you see two humans who are dressed in overalls and red plaid flannel, wearing little woolen hats, and they're just kind of chilling. They're laughing with each other as they wield their axes, and they seem to be chopping quickly through these trees. Like, it only takes a couple of hits, and then the tree creaks and falls to the ground. As you see each tree fall, you can actually feel nature kind of like cringe and cry out around you, as your home seems to be in the clearing path of this destruction. What do you do?
I would like to get within 30 feet range of them without them seeing me.
Okay, it's yeah, that's doable. Roll me another stealth check. This time without advantage, just regular stealth check.
Okay, that's 17.
Alrighty. Yeah, you sneak up easily without these people noticing. They're still pretty focused on what they're doing. As you get closer to them, you can see that there is a wooden cart with a lot of logs on it already, and they seem to be chopping the top branches that are less usable off and loading these logs onto the cart using some kind of magic. They have like a magical rod that helps them winch these logs up onto the cart easily. It's
Okay.
being pulled by an ox, if you care. Yeah, they have not noticed you at all.
I'd like to cast Druidcraft to make a smell that smells just like an Amorphophallus, which is also called a corpse flower. It smells like corpses, quite literally.
Okay. Interesting choice. So, these guys are laughing, kind of doing their thing, and suddenly one of them retches and kind of looks to the other. Yo, did you smell that? Something died around here. Whew. They keep on doing their thing.
Okay, this makes me a little upset. I'd like to try to use Druidcraft one more time to try to oh wait, 1 second.
They're just trying to like hold their breath, keep chopping.
Is it nighttime or daytime?
It is still mid-morning, about 11:30 a.m.
Actually, I'd like to make a sound effect using Druidcraft to annoy the ox.
Annoy the ox. Okay. Yeah, what would you like to do to annoy this ox?
Like a buzzing noise that will cause the ox to start getting out of there, cause the people to run after it or something like that.
Like a bee or something?
Yeah, something like that. It's just an audio noise.
Okay, where are you making this sound spawn? Like the origin
What?
of the sound.
The origin sound near the ox.
Yeah, but like near its ears, near behind it, in front of it.
Near its ears.
Okay.
Almost like in its ears.
Let me just see the volume that you're able to create.
Not very loud. Kindly harmless sensory effect.
Yeah, it doesn't suggest sounds though. It just
But sound is sensory, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just odd that there's spells that specifically talk about sound, like minor illusion or whatever, but Druidcraft only is talking about puffs of wind. Oh, it says small sound of a small animal. So yeah, that would definitely qualify. Sorry. So yeah,
Alright,
you
cool.
definitely you make like the sound of a buzzing insect right beside the ox's head, and the ox, not being very smart, immediately kind of like flaps his head, just flopping its ears side to side but does not take off running.
Jeez.
Just kind of swats away around its head.
Okay.
Meanwhile, these men are continuing to chop through trees. They've gotten about
Are they still
Or-
holding their breath?
no. Oh, they're. How long did the smell last? It's
No
instantaneous.
clue.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the range or of how long the smell lasts, so I'll just say it lasts for maybe a few
It
seconds.
says something about be at your location for the next 24 hours.
That's the weather predicting one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you can create an instantaneous smell or whatever, but it doesn't last for a long period of time. So they just kind of got
Okay.
a whiff of it, and then they realized it wasn't there after maybe 5 or 6 seconds. So yeah, they've gotten through a couple more trees since you've been watching them, and you notice that they're getting closer to a part of the forest that's kind of always been a little off, like always slightly colder than it should have been.
Hmm.
You know this place better than anyone, so
Can I roll insight to know that what might be going on there?
I'll say that you've already investigated it enough to know that you don't know exactly what is buried there, but there seems to be something magical buried in that spot, dark, that should not be unearthed.
Okay.
You've tried to dig into it a little bit, but heard a weird sound and decided, yeah, maybe this isn't a good idea, and left it alone.
Well, I give in. I'm going to cast Fog Cloud.
Okie doke. You cast Fog Cloud, instantly, whoosh, a 20-foot radius sphere.
120.
No, that's the distance at which you can cast it.
Oh, okay.
Where do you center this fog cloud on?
On them.
On them? Okay. So right between them, suddenly a large fog cloud manifests, almost looking like fog is spewing out of that spot in the ground and filling up a radius around them. Immediately they're spooked. They're like, ah, what the? Okay, something weird's going on around here. And they look
And
around.
immediately I'd like to use
Sure,
Druidcraft
Thomas.
to create a spoopy noise of some sort.
A spoopy noise. Can you describe the spoopy noise?
You know, like at nighttime, you kind of hear a coyote or, I don't know, a lynx making a weird noise in the mountains.
So like a snarling kind of sound?
Yeah.
Animal?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they'll hear, it's another creature, but it must be able to create magical fog out of nowhere. That's pretty weird. Is it a ghost cat? I'm so confused. And they'll hold out their axes. Although it's hard to see them at this point, you only see like their vague silhouettes as they try to wander through this fog, which you are not in, by the way, because you're 30 feet away from them.
Okay.
Speaking of this, at this point, Carmen, you're walking down this road still, and you see off to your right where those trees were falling. Now you just see a giant white sphere of cloud appear inexplicably out of nowhere. You're close enough now to just see this appear, and there's no other clouds in the sky, so it's
How
kind of
far
an odd
away from it
thing.
am I?
You're maybe the length of a football field. It's kind of off the path, but it's nearby.
I'll go investigate. That's
Mhm.
not normal.
Yep. You wander off the beaten path and begin weaving your way through the stumps and the trampled foliage, looking for the source of this cloud. Ray, what's up?
I'm still trying to scare them away here.
So they've heard a weird sound and they're just kind of holding their axes at the ready, looking around like, I don't know what's going on, George. I don't like it. I think maybe we should consider moving away. And they walk away from you, Mama Swizzle. Not towards the clearing though, but kind of to the side, deeper into the woods.
Can I still see their silhouettes?
Roll me perception.
9 + 6.
Yeah, you can't see them. They're very heavily obscured.
Okay.
If you see anything, you just see like the faintest shape of their shadow moving through the mist, but you don't really see a good like silhouette of them or anything. You can get kind of the general idea of where they're going though, because you can hear their voices and where they're moving. They're moving away from their cart though.
I'd like to cast Magic Stone on one of my stones and just toss it in there, see if I hit one of them.
Just toss it blindly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, alright. Roll to hit. With
disadvantage?
No, I don't think it's actually disadvantage. I think it just
Really?
increases their armor class.
Really?
Because they're heavily obscured. You know what? I don't know. I haven't kept up with
It's up
my
to you.
obscuring rules that well.
Okay,
just,
so
just roll normally. I'll take it into account. I'll look it up
I
a little
forgot
later.
what are the add-ons.
It is +6 for your.
Where do you see
You
that?
can see it on your character sheet. Look at your bonus actions.
Boom. Oh, okay, I see it now. Okay, so I got a 15 plus 6.
Okay. Yeah. You you cast Magic Stone, and what do you do with it exactly? You do.
I toss
throw with a
it
sling,
to
or just
hit
do you
one
throw
of
it?
them. Yeah, I
Just
throw
toss
it.
Okay. So you take one of your stones. You kind of wave your feathery fingers over it. It begins to glow with a faint magical glow, and you just yeet, throw it like a catapult, and you just hear ah. Okay, there's something out there. George, was that you? This isn't funny, man. And George is just like, that wasn't me, man. I don't think this is a good place to be right now. You hear them stumble out of the circle, out of your fog cloud, and you see them emerge to the side, not on the other side of it from you, but more to the left, closer to that cold spot I mentioned. They have separated now from their cart, which is still in the fog cloud. The ox does not seem to care. He's just like.
Do I remember where the ox is?
Yes.
I'd like to go up to the ox and slap it on the butt to make it get moving.
Okay, there is a 10-foot area of open clearing between you and the fog cloud that you'd have to get through. Would you like to try to stealth through that?
Yes.
Okay. They're pretty distracted, so just roll, and it should be not too difficult. No advantage or disadvantage, though.
What's my
Your stealth? You should be able to see it on
Oh,
that.
stealth, right.
Yeah, it's +5.
17 plus 5.
Yep. You like dive from the bushes into the fog cloud. No one sees a thing. You may as well have been a ghost. And you're in the fog cloud. You easily make your way up to the ox. What would you like to do?
Slap it on the butt.
You hear the clip clop of its footsteps beginning to move forward. And Carmen, as you're approaching, you just see a spooked ox just kind of like begin trotting at a leisurely pace out of this cloud, carrying a bunch of logs that are not secured in any way, which begin to roll and fall out of the cart, rolling towards Mama Swizzle. Mama Swizzle, can you make me a dexterity saving throw in this fog cloud?
16 plus 3.
Yeah, you're good. You you hear the giant thump 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 thump, and you're like, oh, I know what that is. And you begin to take steps back and dodge the logs as they.
Do I have to roll out of the way, or am I just taking a few steps back?
It was up to you. Would you like to dive out of the way, or you can?
I'd like
try
to
to
dive
just
out of the
jump over
way,
them
and
roll across
upon
them?
landing, I hear my back just go.
Yep, exactly that happens. You hear a and you're suddenly hit with a pain in your side, and you're just like, oh, I should have stretched more when I woke up this morning. 3 minutes was not enough.
as I see this ox sort of pull out of the fog cloud with all of these unsecured logs, can I try to roll an animal handling check to get it to calm down? Because
Yeah.
it's not like rushing. It's just
No, it's just kind of, I've been told to move, but I'm carrying a heavy load. I can't be bothered to go heckin' fast.
that's a 16.
Yeah, you wave your hands and stand in front of the ox, and you're like, "Whoa, hey, easy!" And the ox is like, and begins to slow down, still trying to go forward, but avoiding you and coming to a slow pace, looking like it's going to stop.
Okay. When it gets close to me, I'd like to like grab the reins of the ox and very slowly lead it out of the way of the road, so it's off to the side.
You'd like to? Sorry, I didn't
Like,
catch all.
When the ox stops,
Mhm.
grab the reins and slowly have it move off the road, so it's not just going to
Yeah,
be
it's
a
nowhere near the road.
blockade.
This is
Okay.
like several hundred feet away from the
Okay.
actual road, so it's fine. Worst that could happen is it
Then
hits a tree stump.
I'll just tie it up somewhere while I go look for whoever might own this ox.
Okay, well the fog cloud is still here, and this only happens to like slow it down. Only happens in maybe 20 seconds. And as this is happening, as you're like slowing it and you grab the reins, kind of like calming the ox. I don't know why I said shooting the ox. Calming the ox down. You hear some angry shouting as two lumberjacks armed with axes come around the side of the fog cloud and see what appears to be a robbery of their cart, perhaps? You're not sure exactly what their intentions are, but you hear them angrily shout, "Hey, what are you doing?"
This oxen just charged me. I stopped it from hitting me.
Oh, okay. Who are you? Where did you come from? They still
I
seem
came
very
from
angry, and they're approaching.
I came from down the road. I saw this fog cloud appear and I decided to investigate.
Yeah, so did we. Dang.
Is this is your ox, I take it?
Yep, and those logs are too. And now
I
they're
would
all on the
suggest
ground.
securing them.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
would suggest securing them more
we usually do.
closely next
but
time.
usually a cloud of fog doesn't appear and our oxen doesn't run off.
No,
Well,
that does sound like a series of unfortunate events
yes.
that just befell you.
Yeah, this guy puts away his axe and he's like, "Well, thank you for your help, ma'am. I'm not sure what's going on here. I guess we just got spooked. I don't know how this fog cloud appeared. It looks like some kind of magic. Did you? Yeah, you didn't do this, right? Someone
No,
else did this.
I did not do this.
They kind of eye the landscape suspiciously.
Can I make a perception check?
Yeah, I think. Ray, are you in the fog cloud still, or are
Yeah,
you
I'm in the middle of the fog cloud. Yeah.
The middle of the fog cloud would have been right in the center of the way. Of
No,
the logs.
well, I mean like middle, as in,
Still in
that whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you're still in the fog cloud, but more like the outskirts of it.
Yeah.
Avoiding the logs. What are you attempting to do at this point? Are you just sitting there? You can
Me?
hear this conversation going on. Yeah.
I'd like to try to get up despite my pain.
All right. No roll necessary.
Darn.
If you want, you can have disadvantage on standing up, but it's not going to be a hard roll.
And I limp my way over to the tree, but I try to put my back against the tree where they can't see me right off the bat.
Okay.
And I just sit there chuckling.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, these guys are looking around trying to figure out who or why this happened. One pulls out his like magical winching stick and begins loading these logs back up on to the cart, even though they're all crooked and banged up now. He seems
Magical
rather
wrenching
upset.
stick. I need one of those.
I guess I'll just do a quick like survey of the area. Just walk around the edges of the fog cloud just to see if it was bandits or teenagers maybe that were getting up to shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. How large of a radius do you walk around this fog cloud?
Around the edge of the cloud and kind of look like peering into the foresty area just to see what else I can find.
Okay. Roll me just a general perception check.
All right.
And Ray, could I have you make a stealth check because she's actively looking around for someone?
That's it.
Yikes!
15 plus 3, so
It doesn't
18.
matter what she rolls, she still wins.
Did you get a nat one?
Yeah.
So, Carmen, as you're
Chuck, make
walking
away.
around this forest, do you have your weapon drawn or anything, or are you just like walking?
No.
Okay, so you're walking around, just kind of looking for whatever prankster decided to cause this chaos, and you just hear like a Kenku just kind of laughing to themselves behind the tree, very obviously, and you even see like a couple feathers just kind of flying off and drifting in the breeze, and you're just like, I think there might be someone there.
She'll draw closer to them, trying to not seem threatening as she does so. Like
hmm
louder steps, maybe stepping on a branch or two that cracks under the weight, just to make sure it's not startling. And she'll go, "Was this your handiwork?"
I look back at her, and then I struggle to stand up, and I use my old lady pose, and I'm just like, Mama Swizzle, and shrug.
What's an old lady pose? Is it just
Like I'm holding my lower back, and I'm.
Are you all right? She like sees you holding your back and this concerned.
I shake my head. Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle,
Would you like me to see if I can help?
Mama Swizzle.
She will lay a hand on Mama Swizzle and try to use her
lay on hands?
her lay on hands.
How many points?
And just 2.
It doesn't change anything about her old age, but
No, but
you
it tries
feel
to help.
a nice warm calming sensation, Ray, and you hear your back go oh, and you're just like, that felt good. It hurt, but it felt good.
Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
It's better. Good.
Hey, who are you talking to over there?
Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
It's nothing.
They're on the other side of the fog cloud from you right now.
It's nothing.
Mama Swizzle. I start pointing at the cold area. Mama Swizzle. And then I cast Druidcraft to do the same corpse smell.
The corpse smell. Okay.
So slightly quieter, I say you would like us to stay away from that area.
Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
Meanwhile, one of the guys, the guy who's still holding an axe, comes out from around the fog cloud. And are you trying to be hidden still, Ray? Because you've stood up and you're no longer in your hiding spot. Either way, they can see that Carmen's talking to someone.
But they don't see me directly yet, right?
I'm trying to determine where you're standing. So I
Well,
know.
whenever I sat behind the tree, I made sure
Okay,
that
so
I
you
wasn't
just
in line
stood
of
up.
sight immediately. Yeah,
So
I
you
just stood up.
there. Okay, gotcha. So you're standing in the same place. All they see is Carmen talking to behind the tree, and they're like, you find your little friend there?" And they're giving you a point.
I'd like to take a branch and just wave the branch a little bit.
You're just gonna take a stick and wave it?
Yeah, just
So
wave
you
it a
take
little
stick.
bit.
Is this a little devil that's bothering us?
Yes, I
Approaching.
believe so.
Well, they need to pay for all the chaos they've caused here. Are they your friend? You know them?
No, but I can take them with me into town, see that justice is given.
Mama
You,
Swizzle.
you a guard or something? You look
I'm
like
a paladin.
pretty armored up. Ah, paladins, I see. Are you one of those paladins that, like, does the right thing for a really long time and then goes crazy and does whatever they want to because they've gotten tired of doing the right thing, or are you one of those paladins that's like really super religious and always does the right thing no matter what and gets really boring? I've had drinks with both, and they're both kind of annoying.
I serve my kingdom and my prince first and foremost, and that's the extent of my duty.
Prince. It's been a while since I've heard of a kingdom with a prince. This is pretty far off from your kingdom. So he's like, sorry, I'll let you know if I see any princes. Anyway,
Thank you.
So what is your name?
I'm Carmen. It's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you. I am George.
George.
Because I couldn't be
I'll
bothered
jot
to
that
have a
down.
creative name. That's the main reason.
Are these people distracted like Carmen and these?
Carmen's like half looking at Mama Swizzle, half at these guys.
Darn!
The other guy is approaching
Okay,
as well.
I'd like to
join.
pretend that I'm trying to get away. I felt like that little cartoon tiptoeing away type thing.
We don't get noticed. Alrighty. So I think it's a good time here to take a break. Let's just, Carmen, how do you respond to her trying to escape or pretending to?
I'm gonna look at Mama Swizzle and be like, quietly, so that the guys, the men can't hear me. Be like, if you come with me just long enough for them to think you'll be brought to justice, you can then leave.
Can you
Don't want them getting angry at you in the future.
I just sigh and walk towards her.
Okay.
Alrighty. So with that, let's move back over to Pumpkin. Pumpkin, you're with this dragon, and the dragon is just kind of sitting there, talking casually as you're planning to go off and do other things with your day. The dragon kind of sniffs suddenly, straightens up, and is like, I smell evil. Something not good is afoot in the temple. Would you mind going and checking it out? Obviously, I'm slightly restrained by the buildings and not crushing pedestrians in the marketplace.
Of course. I'm glad you trust me with this task.
Well, of course. We're all working together here, aren't we? I just want... I feel unsettled. Something's amiss, and it could be nothing, but... Always
Do
worth
I
checking out.
sense anything awry either?
You are
Do
a monk.
I-
You don't exactly have any, like, otherworldly senses or anything. So, as far as you know, everything's normal. This dragon is just
Alright.
paranoid, smelling things, I guess. I don't know.
I will surely look into it for you.
Thank you. Well, in case I don't see you for the rest of the day, have a good one. And, here. And she holds out a claw with a couple gold pieces and says, buy yourself something nice. It was a good talk today.
I appreciate it.
It is 3 gold pieces, by the way.
Great.
How she was able to, like, grasp those with her large claws, it is beyond you, but she does so
Just
anyway.
drop it out of her mouth.
Regurgitating the gold, yikes.
Yes.
Alrighty. So, with that, you're free to leave this this warehouse if you'd like.
Well, I do. And they said, evil or I where?
In the temple, they said.
In the temple. Do I know where this temple is?
Yeah, it's on the other side of the marketplace. So,
Okay.
You're kind of in the center of town, but not quite at the marketplace. So as you walk out the door, you immediately are assaulted by, like, insane numbers of things going on the street. There are people walking by doing their basic shopping kind of regular errands. There's also a dwarf who's juggling axes and trying to get people to pay attention to him and give him money. He's got a hat on the ground, a small brown hat with maybe 14 copper pieces in total, thrown haphazardly on the side. There's a guy, sleazy guy on the sidelines who's kind of waving people down and going, "Hey, anyone want to buy a selfie here? and he's got like a clamshell that like opens and closes and like makes a brief flash, and then you can see it's got a golden
So
image
it's
on
a
a
camera.
pearl of
Okay.
of the image that it saw. So he's like, 1 gold piece for a shelfie. Anyone want it? And there's also a furbolg who's just like eating fire and blasting it out above. So it's basically just a slurry of activity. Almost seems like a festival's going on or something today.
Interesting.
A warforged man is walking around, all like silver and iron. Almost looks like Iron Man. He's just kind of absorbing the sight as he walks around. And a monk sits peacefully, shaved head, eyes closed, as he just sits there in the marketplace on a barrel. What would
Okay.
you like to do?
So I do what I'm told essentially.
Mhm.
So I walk over to the temple, wasn't it? I completely
Yep,
forgot
it was the
again.
temple. So you walk
Um,
over across the marketplace.
well, I'll add a bit more detail. I'll walk by. Um, there's a cat here.
Danger.
Um, I'll walk by a few of the street people, like trying to get attention, the show people.
Mhm.
And I'll for however many I walk by, I'll give one of the gold pieces
Mhm.
that I was given.
So one to the dwarf
In
axe juggler,
Yeah,
one to
one
the
to the dwarf, one for the fire person if I walk by them. Only if I walk by them.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're basically walking out onto a busy street, the main street kind of thing, which
Mhm.
goes to the marketplace. So you'll kind of pass these guys on the
Mhm.
sides of the street as you go.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
seeing
And
as we
and
go.
I'll just get rid of all three.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Do you, for the shelfie salesman, would you like to have your picture taken with your gold piece for that one? Or
I don't think I'm buying anything, so I'm just
gotcha.
ignoring
Okay,
that
you're just
one.
giving away the
Yeah.
gold.
I'm
Okay.
giving it away. I think I ignore him. It's just the people who are performing
Okay. Yeah,
that
you
I'm
do
giving
find a
it to.
third person who's like playing music on the sidelines. They're just like
I figured
playing
there
a
would be
little
one
flute,
more.
and
You didn't need to
he looks
specifically
down
say.
as you put an entire gold piece in his little cup, and he's just like, "Thank you, sir. Thank you." And like you just kind of smile at him as you go past. As you're walking through the marketplace, you're assaulted with like far too many smells and senses and noises to even bother describing. Just fish smell and human sweat, loud clanking and magical explosions happening from people trying out new magical inventions. And it's a pretty neat sight as you look around and you see you know an old town that's been upgraded recently and has like new layers of magical technology kind of draped across it. There's wires that kind of haphazardly spread across awnings and openings, bridging the gap between roofs, and somehow working as they connect up in different places, but maintained by who knows who. So yeah, it's a neat little place with lots of little things going on here and there. But you make it easily to a grand marble temple made of huge stones, and people are coming and going from the temple, each with somber expression usually. Some of them seem happy, but most are just kind of like, ah, yes, this is the serious place to go and worship time. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, you walk in to the temple, and Ananias, you're in a dark room, basically a, a storage closet. It's literally no light in there. What would you like to do? You're muted, by the way.
Can you
Still
hear me?
Yep, we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Okay, good. Uh, I guess I'll walk out of the room. I don't really have any reason to be there, yeah.
Okay. So you walk out of the mysterious side room, and your Pumpkin hasn't arrived yet at the time that you're walking out of this room. So you're just kind of walking back out. Is there anything you'd like to do or say? Anyone you'd like to interact with? There seems to be a somber, almost sad tiefling who's pink in color as she walks to the Shrine of Torm but I don't know. People are on doing their own business. Someone is carrying a live goat. Don't want to know what's happening to him. He makes a noise at you sadly.
All of them. I just ignore all of them.
Oh, I thought
and
you were
I
gonna say you kill all of them.
No, I ignore all of them, and I continue to the exit
Mhm.
of the temple.
Alrighty. Do you go out the exit?
I mean, sure, yeah.
Okay. So Pumpkin, right as you're arriving, you see a mysterious hooded figure who is basically covered in cloth in their entire everything, walk out past you as you're going to the temple.
Okay. Does anybody else walk out as I'm going in? Did I pass anybody else walking out?
Things are pretty slow. It seems like people go in and out every once in a
Lazily.
while, but not like
Yeah.
constantly.
Okay.
Not a very steady
Well,
flow.
seeing the dark cloak and associating that with evil, I'm just like, if I'm able to
Associating
stop,
I mean, it's fair,
it's
but
fair. It's fair. I mean, I
clearly,
don't
if they
sense
hide their
any
face,
evil.
it means they're evil.
Mhm,
Not
mhm.
that they
I'm
have
just
like
this
an ugly
is-
face or
Well,
something.
to be fair though, it's like a temple. You don't really see too many black hooded people going into a temple. Typically, you take off your hat and stuff, wipe your feet. So,
Mhm.
okay,
I mean, of
I'll
course,
act-
you of all people would know that people with like scars and disabilities sometimes don't like to display them for everyone.
exactly.
But anyway,
Having flashbacks because I see the hood. I will.
oh, you're gonna
try.
invite them to your to your injured people anonymous.
I'll try and stop them and say, was there anything strange going on in there?
I turn towards the Aarakocra and I just stare at him, and I don't reply.
Can he see your face, or is it like?
No, of course not. But
how
I
does he know
am
you're
staring at
So
him.
it's just like a void. He just sees
Yeah,
darkness.
he just sees black, and I'm looking at him.
Do I get any sense, like just a normal sense of like how?
You're cutting out for me.
I mean, I obviously feel a bit weirded out by this, but so what I'm wondering is if I am going to feel like, oh, this person is probably the evil.
Did you reach out and like touch their arm and be like, "Hey, excuse me," or did you just kind of talk to them?
I just talked.
Okay. So yeah, you don't sense or feel or notice anything
Okay,
odd,
okay.
magical about them. They're just creepily staring at you, and they have no face. It seems.
Hmm.
Okay.
What did
Take
he
that as
ask
you will.
me?
If anything strange was going on in there.
Nope. Nothing strange. So I turn away from him and I continue along the path.
Where are you going, Ananias?
I'm gonna find an inn.
There is an inn nearby. It is called the White Wyvern Inn. It's off about a block and a half to your left from where you currently are. It's a rather
All right,
old and
I go
run-down place,
there.
but-
I go there and I go into like the alleyway behind it and I get into that area and just kind of sit in a cardboard box or something.
All right. So as you turn left and just kind of turn away from Pumpkin and begin walking, there's people kind of trying to get your attention. People playing music at you. A guy who's very insistent that he take a selfie with you. He kind of walks up and puts his arm around you. He's like, "What?" And then you see him like recoil as though
Do
his
you-
arm has been zapped by an electric shock, and he's just like, never mind." And he kind of walks away from you.
They do realize that I
Don't have a face.
am in black and I don't want contact, right?
He knows now.
Okay.
He's desperate though. He's a salesman. So Pumpkin, what are you doing as she's walking away from you? Or he? I don't know what she
well,
is.
Well,
The hooded,
just creeped
mysterious
out
figure.
by that situation, I kind of like take note of which way they go, and then continue into the temple. And I would like to like inspect the area, see if there's been any mischief, like walk around a couple of rooms or something.
Okay. Yeah, you walk into the temple. Everyone seems to be going about their business. No one's panicking. Everything seems fine as far as you can tell. What would you like to investigate first? You see all of the different altars there. The one in the broom closet is
Well, I
about the
just like
same,
to
except
like
you notice a stain on the floor, what appears to be just alcohol, and the... Oh, no, never mind. The fire is still going on that altar.
Charred
Okay.
feathers.
You might see a couple charred feathers, a little bit of ash, and a little
Well, I mean,
puddle of
wouldn't
alcohol.
we want me to roll for that? I don't know.
No, it's easy to see
Okay.
if you're just
Okay.
looking around.
So I walk into there, see a flaming altar.
You might notice that it is in fact the altar to your god, if that's
But
interesting
on
to you.
fire, which is abnormal.
You mean someone actually was worshipping that god, as opposed to it just being dark, waiting for someone to worship? That might be abnormal, yeah. If it's a new religion. I don't even remember. Is it a new religion?
No, I just don't think that we would light the altar to our god on fire. I don't know. Or unless
Well,
you're saying that
it's
there's fire around it.
almost all of these altars have like a little bowl where you can offer
Yeah.
something to the gods, and they have a fire underneath it, and it's on like
Gotcha. I
a
understand.
stone column. So
Okay.
it's just kind of like the symbol of respect or something. It's not. I don't know. It's not like, oh no, how dare they light it on fire?
So I'll notice that, kind of like bow my head very slightly. And have I checked the other rooms at this point, or is this just like
You have
the
not
only
checked
one?
any other rooms.
Okay. Well, I just want to like seeing that nothing's like too awry in here. Well, I'll look at the feathers since you said that I noticed them, that there were feathers there.
You notice that there's just. It's mostly just ash. It's barely even recognizable as a feather at this point. But you do notice, like, floating in the pile, or the puddle of alcohol, there's just a couple crispy remains of feather and ash. You can make of that what you will. If you'd like, you can roll investigation to be able to tell, like,
Yes,
what
I
it
would.
was that burned, and there might be a residual smell in the air as well. Yeah, go roll ahead and roll ahead. Go ahead and roll me investigation. Whew.
It's hard. We all
Tell
English
ya.
is hard.
A week of 53 hours of work, and suddenly my brain turns into jello.
Investigation is +0, so
That's
that's
impressive.
a 10.
It's Jello.
10 straight even.
Yeah, I mean, make of it what you will.
Okay.
It's hard to really pinpoint what happened. Certainly you don't get the sense that there was a goose man that just became a person.
Yeah. But it's definitely abnormal. Like, it's not how you would normally
Yeah,
worship.
you can definitely tell that it's
Yeah.
not like someone was like, all right, I'm gonna make an offering to my god. Here, let me just like pour some alcohol on the ground and then like eat the ash in the ground. It's more like you would put the offering on the pedestal if you were actually trying to do an offering.
All right. I leave that room, look into the others to see if there's anything else.
As you casually look by, you can see one place where the workers or the priests and priestesses of the different gods can lodge in this place. That looks pretty normal. There's a couple people going in and out. Everyone's got like their headwear and robes, and
the
they're just
staff
walking in and
room.
out. It's nice, well lit. Everything's fine. You notice another room where they're like counting money and other offerings that have been given to the church or temple. Everything seems to be in order there as you just kind of briefly glance in. But then as you look over to the side, there's a storage closet where it's just completely pitch black, darkness, nothing else within that room, and the door is ajar. No one's going in or out of there.
No, the door's a door.
The door is a door. It's adorable.
Um, I'll walk into there.
You walk into
Just-
that room, and there's a. I guess I should have mentioned the smell for the other thing, but oh well, I forgot to. The smell
We'll say that
here.
I don't have a good nose.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing particularly out of the ordinary with the smell here. It just smells a little dingy, and maybe there's a faint smell of like ozone,
Mm.
which is an odd smell considering like there's not any
Normally up
magical
higher.
machinery going on in here or
Mhm.
any explosions or whatever, but
Okay.
and as you're sitting there it kind of like fades away slowly.
Okay. So the room is completely pitch black.
Yeah, you can see that there are like places you could light torches along the side of the room, but they're all
Mhm.
dark right now. Actually, it's faintly
Okay.
smoking as though they have recently been extinguished.
Trying to remember what's in an adventurer's kit because that's basically all I have. But I would
Tinderbox,
like to try and
other stuff.
yeah. I would like to try and light one of the torches.
Yeah, it relights. Everything's fine. There's no one else in here, by the way. It's just
Mhm.
a small closet. There's not even any other exits or entrances.
I'd just like to like investigate the area, see if there's anything else up. You know.
Yeah, you look around, but as far as you can tell, whatever was here is no longer there. I mean, you look around, you can't find whatever it was that the dragon warned you about. So, mission accomplished, I guess.
I guess
DM
so.
man,
Yes?
I want to unfurl the note that was given to me while I'm hiding it in the boxes and stuff.
Okay,
Oh.
so as you Kat are getting down the street and you pass the people, ignoring them as you go, that guy puts his arm around you and recoils
I
as though
zap
he's
him.
been shocked by electricity. Yeah, then you basically just ignore everyone, keep your head down as you get behind the White Wyvern Inn and sit in a small wooden box that apparently you have been living in for the past couple of days, I would assume. Alrighty.
Just found it.
So you sit in your small wooden box, and I forgot to mention, as you're walking through the town, you kind of feel almost like you're walking through water. You're like pushing the strands of this invisible force out of the way as you're walking, trying to not make something explode as you go, because you feel like there's raw power just kind of flowing through your fingertips that you didn't know you had before. It's a certainly bizarre and otherworldly feeling. But yeah, eventually you do reach the box and you unfurl your note. The note gives you instructions on where to go in the sewers of this town tomorrow at about dusk. There's going to be some kind of gathering for the movement, your cult, and they are requesting that you join and help them with something. It doesn't sound good, but I guess that means it sounds good to you. It doesn't sound good for any normal person.
Sounds great.
I don't know
It's
if
a
there's
great
anything
party.
else you want to do, Kat.
Not especially, no.
Okay.
Alright.
How much? I don't know if you want me to roll for history, but how much do I know about the movement?
Nobody really knows about the movement. I don't really know about the movement yet. I
This
found
is the
out about it
problem.
at the beginning of the session. I
The
need to make
movement is
most of
so
it.
secret, not even God
Not
himself
even
knows
the
about
GM
it.
knows what the movement is. Yeah.
Wait a second. Wait a second. There's been a movement.
Okay, wait,
In my
Hold on.
simulation.
It's
The
more
thing
likely
about
than
the
you think.
movement is not a single person understands it. We're all just pretending because we think everybody else knows.
It's Mao. It's Mao.
Yeah, it's the game
The
of Mao.
movement is Mao.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You're faking the movement until you make it.
What is Mao? Is that a game?
It's the
Mao-
game where you can't tell any of the rules other than you're not allowed to explain the rules and you can't talk. Those are the only two rules of Mao you're allowed to tell anyone. And you have to
Yeah.
figure out the rest by playing.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
You would love and hate
It's
that
like
game,
Uno
EJ.
slash
Probably.
And then if you
capitalism.
win it, but and it plays like Crazy Eights. And if you win the round, you get to add a new rule that no one else knows about, or take away a rule, or do whatever you want. Really, it's terrible. You love to hate it.
This sounds.
But also, like, I believe
frustrating.
that games are continuous as well.
They
Yep.
are. They go on
Yep.
forever.
So if you've taken away a rule or if you added in a rule, you are always going to have to remember that rule.
Unless
I
you
hate
call
it.
for a hard reset with the people you're playing with.
Exactly.
I thought the rule was you're not allowed to talk though. How do you end the game if you can't talk?
Everybody quits. The game's fired.
Pretty much.
So anyway, I guess we're gonna move on back to
But-
Ray and Carmen.
I
Oh,
just to
sorry. Did
finish
you
it
have
up,
something
so-
else?
because if we want to have it be like I know absolutely nothing, that's fine. But I would just figure like since this is my religion, if there was like some
Okay,
schism
sure.
inside
Yeah,
the
we'll make up.
religion,
We'll say that
I would know at least a little
you
bit.
discovered this like the cult of the chicken god from this mountain place that you found in your travels, and it was pretty great. But then you also heard as you
Rumors.
continued traveling on, you heard someone else talking about the same religion and telling you about it, and you're like, wait, that sounds good, except you kind of twisted a couple details and made it sound very scary. And so you kind of heard of a schism, as you mentioned, between like believers of the true worshippers of the Untitled Goose versus the people who have like corrupted its message and how they're angry at each other.
Have the movement.
Of course, as far as knowing about this particular sect in this particular place, you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
But you might be able to discern that there is at least someone here who is worshiping the same god
Yeah.
as you, and possibly not in the same way that you do.
Exactly.
Because of
I was just wondering
the
if it was
altar.
like yeah. I was wondering if I was gonna get those senses or if it was just like somebody was just messing around or something.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
thank
definitely
you.
doesn't look like someone just yeeted a burning child into a corner or something.
I think it does. Okay.
Okay, great. Sorry to
Yeah, that's not what I meant to say, but you know what I mean. Let me just yeet my child over there and let him play with the fire while they're on fire.
Eat your bed.
Yeah. So, Carmen and Ray, you guys are you guys are currently whispering about following to avoid getting murdered by angry lumberjacks who have only been slightly inconvenienced. Meanwhile, the lumberjacks have both kind of come to observe the situation now, and they're kind of sizing Mama Swizzle up, and they're like, "So you're the one who's been messing with us, huh? What's
I
what
hold my
gives?"
back and go into old lady mode again.
Hey, don't you? Okay, she looks too old and frail. We can't kill her.
Well,
Okay,
also, you know.
so there's a crazy old bird lady here that's been messing with us, it seems.
And she would recommend that you don't go, and I point to the area where the smell is coming from. Don't go over there.
There's not a weird smell coming from it. She just gave you a weird smell momentarily.
Okay, well then where the direction that was
Pointed.
directed. Yeah.
Go over where? I see
I-
forest and more forest. Upon
In
probably
that-
more forest?
In the area of that in the forest in that direction.
I mean, sad to say, our job is to clear out this whole section. We got probably another square mile to do before the day is out.
Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
Is she threatening us?
I'm quite certain she's saying that if you do go over in that direction, you'll hurt yourself badly.
We know how to handle a couple falling trees. It shouldn't.
Oh,
be
Mama
well.
Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
What is she saying?
It's probably not falling trees you'll have to look out for.
Mama Swizzle.
How do you understand her?
I'm quite adept at charades.
Mama Swizzle.
Cannon.
Well, anyway, mysterious old.
Write that down.
Are you the same old
That's a
lady?
trait.
Are you that same bird brain that's been messing around in our town every once in a while? There have been stories about you.
Mama Swizzle.
I think the guards at the town would be very happy to talk to you.
Mama
The stories are right. Well, anyway, Miss Paladin lady, I'll let you escort this freak of nature back to civilization.
Swizzle.
That is quite
I'd
rude.
love to see her face justice, even though it wasn't that big a deal. We've just knocked over some wood. We'll pick it up. Everything should be fine. Could you remove this fog, though? That would make our work go a little faster here.
Mama Swizzle.
You're like, I don't know how to do it. Oh, that's funny. They just kind of shrug and they're like, oh, okay, we know that you're not telling the truth there, but what are we gonna do about it?
Swizzle.
Yeah, they just kind of sigh and they turn to go back to their work. Ma'am, bird person, and they go back to trying to shimmy their logs back up onto their.
With their magical wench.
Mm-hmm.
While we're walking away from them and their backs are turned to us, I'd like to do Druidcraft and cause that corpse smell around them again.
They're just okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh! And they drop it again. Like rolls over one of their toes. Ah! Give it. He kind of limps after you for like a couple steps, holding his axe. You.
Carmen
You're a freak of
hearing that
nature.
commotion, it's gonna hear that again and be like, well, I can't say it wasn't fully undeserved.
I'm just cracking up over here.
Oh boy. So, Carmen and Mama Swizzle, where are you guys walking? What are you doing?
I'm following her.
Yeah,
Alright.
Carmen's going back towards the road so she can head to the town.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting detour.
Mm-hmm. So, wait, you're heading back towards the town, you said?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And while they're walking, she's going to look at Mama Swizzle and be like, so, you live in these woods?
I point towards the direction I live. Mama Swizzle.
Have you seen anyone traveling through the woods lately?
You've seen several. You've seen plenty of people passing through the woods because you live near the road. But yeah, you can.
I'm just doing a charade of a bunch of different things I've seen.
Yeah, you can be like, oh yes, there was this old man, there was this cart driver, and
I should clarify. Perhaps a human boy around my age, blonde hair and a green eyes like this one. She points to her green eye.
you have seen a couple of people that match that description, except you weren't close enough to see their eye color, so maybe.
Mama Swizzle. Mama Swizzle.
Well, thank you for that. It's better than nothing.
Mama Swizzle.
Wait until we're far enough away where the cart guys aren't an issue anymore.
You're probably about 300 feet away from them at this point, so they're not in earshot.
If you want to take it back off into the woods now, you can. They don't seem like the most pleasant sort of people. And a little mischief is never a bad thing.
Mama Swizzle.
If they don't listen to your words of wisdom, that's on them.
Mama Swizzle. Mama Swizzle.
I will be going the rest of the way to town, though. You're welcome to join me if you wish.
I just follow you quietly.
Okay. She'll just go to town. She's not exactly. She didn't expect to pick up a friend.
So at about noon, assuming nothing.
Walking fast, or are you walking?
She is in full plate art, like her full armor, so it's not like fast, but it's a decent pace.
Well, as you're walking your normal pace, Mama Swizzle's just like, Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
How big is Mama Swizzle?
Mama Swizzle's only about 4'11", about.
But with the slouch,
Yeah.
it's more
Daddy.
like 4'8".
Yeah, yeah, 4'8" with the slouch.
Um,
Oh,
then I can't give you like a piggyback ride,
You could.
unfortunately. She'll slow down to keep pace with Mama Swizzle.
Mama Swizzle just pats you on your back. Mama
Bong,
Swizzle.
bong, bong.
And I guess we go to the rest of the way to town.
hmm So you guys make
Slowly.
it to town after about an hour, which took a bit longer than it should have probably, considering your normal pace would have been faster. But oh well, you have a bird person to look after now. You guys make it to the town, and as you reach the large, you actually know what? The gate is further in at this point. There are more houses being constructed on the outside of the wall that surrounds the city. So there's just kind of a bunch of new houses being built, and some of them are not even complete with being built yet, on the outskirts of town. There's yet another clearing with more stumps before you reach the town. So you basically, along this road, just begin to see houses pop up, and then become more dense as you get closer to the city. People are kind of giving you a shrug as they walk past. They've seen many travelers, and it doesn't really bother them that one of them is now a bird person who looks like they're an inch from death.
Once in a great while, I would just cast Druidcraft and cause like sweet smells for people I think I might like.
You see a small boy like walking around, kind of give you a weird look, and then and you just wave at him. Yeah. So people are just kind of letting you pass. A couple of them maybe look suspiciously at Mama Swizzle, realizing trouble might be afoot, but they don't really say anything or do anything yet. And everyone just kind of gives you a nod, Carmen, as you walk past. Once you guys finally reach like the main defensive wall around the city, it is constructed. This wall, at least, is made out of wood. Seems like it was constructed fairly recently, pretty new, not weathered very much. And there's a couple guards standing at the side, and the gate is currently open. They just kind of nod at you and don't bother asking any questions as you walk past.
Okay.
And then you begin to get further into the city, where more people are like begging on the streets, performing all the stuff that I mentioned with Pumpkin before. The further you get into town, there's a second wall, this one made of stone, as you pass through the same way, same guards on both sides. What are you looking for in particular in this town? Inn? Anything?
Yeah, to start would be an inn,
Mhm.
and then gather information from there.
Gotcha. So, you guys ask around, I assume. Would you go and like talk to the nearest person about where the inn is?
I walk
Yeah,
up to a little girl and I just say, Mama Swizzle, Mama Swizzle.
Yeah, you see a little girl. She's only about 5 or 6, and she's holding a little doll, like kind of raggedy and not looking like the best doll in the world. And she kind of backs up as you approach her, looking like a terrifying nightmare. And then you're just like, Mama Swizzle. And she's like, you want some water?
Mama Swizzle.
Okay, let me go ask my mom. I'll be right back. And she kind of runs off.
Swizzle.
She runs off into a nearby house and doesn't come back for about 30 seconds or so. How long do you want to wait?
I'll wait for 30 seconds.
Okay. Do you leave after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go back to what's your character again?
Carmen.
San Diego. Sorry. That's what my brain always goes to. Carmen, did you just wait for her? Or something?
I probably would have been like trying to find someone who looks not particularly busy, but friendly enough to give directions to the inn.
There's a nearby blacksmith who's working in his shop. He's got a bunch of weapons just kind of hanging out on the side, displaying for
Then,
people to.
Yeah,
And
I'd
he's
be
just
like,
bang.
excuse me, sir.
Yeah, what can I do you for?
Do you have any? Could you offer a traveler directions to the inn, please?
Oh yeah, you go straight down that street and take a left. After about 400 feet or so, It should be
Thank
pretty
you.
obvious. It's called the White Wyvern Inn, and it's got a picture of a white wyvern. Can't miss
Makes
it.
sense.
Ask anyone over there; they'll know. Oh, I just lit
Thank
something on
you.
fire. That's fine. Yeah. So,
Was I in earshot for that?
yeah.
As soon as he said 300 feet, I looked down at my feet.
No, not that kind of feet. More like a human-sized feet. Your feet are kind of like little chicken feet, and that ain't the size I meant.
Wait. But these are like the actual measurements.
Well, I
in
mean,
this
the way
world
they
of
measured feet
is
was
like a human foot.
foot length. I thought. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was a myth that it was like
Maybe.
the
I don't know.
queen's foot
Wasn't there like a-
size.
If it's a myth, that's
'Cause
what
it's
they're
an
teaching
imperial
kids in
measurement.
school these days. Because I babysit, and one of the second graders
It might have been just like an old story.
was
No,
learning
that's-
feet by having a footprint that's a foot long.
I mean,
Oh
they
well, that's not
teach-
exactly teaching kids that.
It's
Whatever.
but the teacher's like, yeah, this feet, it's a foot long.
It's
your foot,
actually
and they're
there
like,
was
oh.
a Goliath a long time ago.
Sometimes you simplify
and
things.
he
for
had a
kids,
foot that was
'cause-
Yeah, I
exactly 1
guess.
foot long, and that's why we call it Foot. He was a great king. Everyone loved him, but he was a big old guy, and that's why we measure with that length of foot, because he was like, hey, this many of my feet, this will be considered a
I
length
like
of
how I got him to
distance.
say this in character.
I don't know how we got.
It's
to a
different
conversation
from
about feet,
town to town and like from ruler
Each
to
town has a
ruler.
d- each town has like the firstborn there, and then, like whoever was born first, that's the size of their.
But then all of them would
standard
be this
measurement.
long, because they're tiny little baby feet. Do they have to wait for them to grow up first before
Yes,
they measure
wait for them to
anything?
grow up to the age of 16.
What if they get their feet
3?
chopped off? Then it's just like a peg leg. It's just the length.
That shouldn't have
Wow,
had those
in
feet
this
cut
town,
off,
an
you
inch and
know?
a feet are exactly the same length. Anyway, sorry. So you have received directions along with a brief history lesson about how feet were.
How feet work?
I don't know if it was in character or not.
That's fine. She'll follow the instructions.
Alrighty. So you see similar
Desperately
things
needing a
that I
room.
described to Pumpkin a little bit ago. You kind of end up on that same street, and you find your way to the White Wyvern Inn. You see a wooden sign hanging and drifting slightly in the breeze, and it looks pretty beat up. It's the wood is rotting and paint is chipping in all of the wrong places, but it is still standing. The building exists. It's kind of like hidden in between some taller buildings at this point that look newer, as though it's been there for a lot longer and more buildings have popped up around it in the coming years. Would you like to enter?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let me think about the timing here real quick. Yeah, I think Ananias would have already been in the cardboard box at this time. So, yeah, you enter the inn. You hear a little bell chime as you open the door. It goes and almost falls off its hinges, and you're just like, oh, this is a rough place. But it is still standing. It's warm inside. As you enter, there's a bunch of patrons sitting around tables, each eating food. It's about lunchtime, so people are all got their bowls of soup and whatever other food they've ordered. The bartender is kind of going around giving people various drinks, and there's a waitress that's walking by serving people food along the bar and at the tables. What would you like to do? Both of you. Mom Swizzle is entering as well, I suppose?
Yep.
Cool.
Carmen is going to first go just try to secure a room for the evening. Better to get that out of the way now so they don't run out.
Mm-hmm. The bartender is a young man about 30-ish. He's kind of busy as he's, serving people their food, walking to the back, getting another plate, bringing it out. But as you seem to try to get his attention, he goes, "Yep, hello. How may I help you?"
I was hoping to get a room for the night, please, if you don't mind.
Of course. Well, how many bedrooms? I mean,
W-
beds. I mean, beds.
One.
One. Okay, I can do that. and he reaches down below the counter and gets a key, small brass key that looks like it's pretty worn. It'll be 7 copper for the night.
All right, she'll slide that over.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here you go. It is room 12. I know the number is worn off. Room 12.
Okay, thank you.
He nods to you. You need something too?
I'm not paying attention to him. I'm just looking.
Hey. Oh. And he goes off to do his thing. What are you looking at, Mama Swizzle?
I'm just looking at all the patrons in the.
Gotcha. In the back, you see a couple guys who are rolling dice and laughing as they play some kind of game. Not sure what, but they keep like cheering every once in a while. Some of them have cards.
I'd like to walk up on. Mama Swizzle. Mama Swizzle.
You're walking up to them and what? You cut out.
I'm pointing at the card game. I'm just saying, Mama Swizzle.
You want in?
Mama Swizzle.
You don't know how to play? We can teach you. Want me to deal you a hand? You got money to play? You can see that they've got a couple coins on the table as well. Doesn't look like much, but maybe 15 copper. I didn't hear you, Kat, if you're saying something.
I was trying to console Pump.
Oh. Why are you upset, Pump?
This is gonna be horrible.
Trying to teach Mama
Mama
Swizzle how to
Swizzle
play.
can't learn how to play cards.
Well, that's fair.
Pretty too powerful.
Oh dear. Alright, at this point, do you mind if we switch over to someone else real
Yeah.
quick? I feel like
Yeah.
Pumpkin
Yeah,
hasn't
go
got a
for
chance
it.
for a while. Alright.
I have about 20 more minutes before I'm probably gonna be called away to dinner.
Yeah, I also got called 8 minutes ago, 15 minutes till dinner, so I have 7 minutes.
Okay.
I expected this to go a little different, so the whole party would meet up. But don't worry, that'll happen in just a minute.
Would meet up or
Hmm.
wouldn't?
Would.
Would.
Okay.
Well, everybody but you, actually, Kat.
Okay, let's just.
I mean, I can cause a ruckus.
Don't worry, there's gonna be a ruckus. So,
I'm willing to be the cause
Spoiler,
of it.
shh.
if you want to be the cause of the ruckus, sure, why not? Do you want us to go to you instead?
No, it's okay. Start out with Pump.
Okay, Pumpkin. So I don't even remember where you were last. I'm sorry. I'm so frazzled.
I was exploring in
Exiting?
the temple. I was in the dark room, and I was just about to exit. And I didn't say this, but I was going to try and like go back towards the walk back the way that Kat's character had. Is
Okay,
it's the only thing that seemed off to me in there.
gotcha. Okay, so yeah, you walk following the direction that Cat went off in. At this point, it's a good 20 minutes after she's already gone, so you definitely don't have her trail. But as you're walking past, you do see that the Shelfie guy now has a woolly arm. Like, his arm is covered in white lamb's wool, and he's just kind of like,
For the entire 20 minutes he's been doing this, he's just been like standing there for 20 minutes.
Well, you can see that he's got a knife now, and he's like trying to shave it off, but it just keeps growing back, and he's like, what do I do? He's left
Oh, I feel bad.
his Shelfie camera or on the ground beside him, and he's not paying attention right now. A couple people are paying notice to him, like, what in the world is wrong with you, weird sir? But no one really is helping him.
So noticing this, I will walk up to him and say, "What happened there?"
My arm decided to
see
start
the
growing
arm.
wool. It's not good. I don't
What-
like it.
What caused this?
I put my arm around a spooky, shady dude, and then that happened. I'm not gonna
Someone
touch spooky,
wearing a
scary
cloak?
dudes no more. Why is it on my palm too? What'd you say?
Did they have a face? Were they wearing a dark cloak?
Yeah, they were wearing a dark cloak. That's the one. No face. So I like
to
to
know
see.
which way they went.
He just points the same way that you already were going.
This was very helpful. And then I just walk away.
Thank you, sir. Uh, let me know if you've got any wool removal things. Shears?
Use some nair.
I look into my bag and say, "Sorry."
He shrugs and goes back to his problems. So
As if you might have.
yeah, there's a couple people like beggars. They're not performing or anything. They're just kind of laying there on the street, like arms out.
Beggars don't get my time.
They're laying on the street along the way that you're going.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. So yeah, you're continuing to walk. How far do you go? Anything you're looking for?
I go. Well, what buildings do I pass? I'm looking for places that I might suspect someone to have gone to. So I'm looking for either like
You pass
a
a fancy new
pub or
magic shop on your
something.
left. Well, there's definitely the White Wyvern Inn, which is
uh,
about 2 blocks down. It's a local gathering place and inn for the night. So yeah, there's
Okay.
several places around, but that would be exactly what you're looking for.
okay. Yeah, I'll go to the inn.
As you walk in,
Um.
you are greeted by the sounds of laughter and drinking, and you see a bird person standing by a table of dice and cards, and a armored paladin at the bar holding a brass key, along with everything else that I already described.
Well, I'll walk up to the keeper of the inn.
Hey, how can I help you?
Have you seen anyone wearing a dark cloak? Is Kat's character tall? I have no idea. I'm looking for
6
other
foot.
descriptions. Yeah, a tall person wearing a dark cloak. Have you seen anyone around?
My footsteps go click clack.
Off in the back, we got someone who's been lurking around, loitering. Every time I take
Anyone
out the
there?
garbage, it's rather frightening. Is
Interesting.
that what
Yeah,
you're talking about?
I have a
'Cause
friend out there who has a woolly arm. I think it might be because of that one.
I'm sorry, it
If
sounded like
you-
you said a woolly arm.
Yes. Well, thank you,
Huh?
friend. And then I walk away over towards the cloaked.
He just kind of looks at you like
Person.
you're crazy and goes back to what he's doing.
So he comes outside. Is he like going through the garbage exit?
Yeah, there's like a back entrance, and this guy
Whichever the
pops
way
out
is
every once in a
fastest,
while.
you
If
know?
you've been here a couple days, every once in a while he kind of comes out with some trash and just kind of looks at you and does his thing and then leaves.
When I start to hear the door open, I quickly shove the piece of paper back into my cloak, and I pull my hood down, which I had to lift up a bit because it was too dark to read. And
Your
I-
own edgy darkness was too much.
Yeah, it was a little too
Shadows,
much.
I can't see any light coming in.
I like pull my hands back into the hood so that there's no way that they're gonna be able to identify me. I look up to try to figure out, see if it's the same guy as always taking out the trash. I kind of enjoy him being spooked. I find it very amusing.
Alrighty, so Pumpkin, you walk out the back door, which is public access. Anyone is able to go out there, and
All right.
you turn.
Yeah.
You see a cardboard box that appears to be filled with a pile of cloth that moves.
That moves very slightly. Hello there again.
Hello there.
I shrink back away like that.
Yes.
Now, I think there's a little more that you want to tell me. Because I was leaving the temple and came across a man with wool on their arms. said last.
It was woolly
thing
weird.
that- It's woolly weird. Said the last thing that happened before it was, well, an interaction with you.
I choose a high-pitched woman voice, and I say,
You just
I
didn't
have no
wanna
clue
change
what
your
you're
voice.
talking about, sir.
Coming.
Oh,
I-
EJ's getting called for dinner.
It's okay. Keep going.
I see. Well, am I getting any? I'm gonna step closer. As I get closer, do I get any magical sense?
No, it would only be if you like get uncomfortably close that you would be able to
okay.
feel any like
I-
static electricity kind of
Okay.
buzz.
Well, I'll take a step closer, seeing how she reacts.
I slap him. He got in my personal space.
Can I block the slap? I would not like to take damage, thank you.
Okay, so just roll me dexterity, both of you, if you're doing this.
I'm gonna win!
You probably won.
Maybe. Straight up dexterity. So that is a 10 plus 4. 14.
I got a 5 plus 3.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
5 plus 3. What are the totals? Sorry, I'm really tired.
14.
8.
Okay. So, what are you trying to do? Reach out and touch? Or you're trying to block the
Slap
slap?
him.
Okay, so
I'm
she's
trying
trying to
to
slap
slap
you.
him. He got my. He's like right up against
Yeah.
my face. I
She
want him
tries to
out.
slap you, and you're just like, no! And then as you use your monk reflexes and catch her hand, suddenly you
Mhm.
feel like a jolt go through your body, and let's see. Suddenly, Pumpkin, your flesh begins to pucker, and you feel like a rash form on your hand, and you suddenly your entire body smells of fresh strawberries, and it feels like it will
Oh,
remain
no.
like that for the
I'm
next 8
becoming a
hours.
strawberry.
Uh,
Violet, you're turning violet.
yeah, exactly. So you just suddenly like you feel your skin just basically turn slightly redder and pockmarked, and you're just like, wow, I am a strawberry, or at least you smell like a strawberry, and you're just kind of like, what the?
I'm shocked by this sight. And
I'm sure Kat would be as well, so she might not let it off.
Because I. Mm.
She has
Um,
strawberry powers.
I say, now, are you going to come easily, or do we have to make this hard?
I hiss at him and say, "What are you?" To me, he's a
Just-
strawberry guy.
You strawberry guy.
You've revealed his true form, the strawberry man.
I reply, someone trying to do good.
Just then, all 4 of you hear a large, loud crashing sound followed by screams, but we'll have to get to that later because I gotta go to dinner and so does Light. So,
Woo!
a bit out of track, and sorry for all the improvising I had to do. There wasn't enough pre-planning, but hey, I'll plan a little more for next time, assuming I have
Sounds
any
good.
time
Good.
of
All
freeness at all during
It's
my
been
entire
pretty
week.
good world building. I
thank
see no
you.
reason to apologize.
Yay! Did you guys have fun?
Yes.
Yay!
Yep.
I appreciate it. I'm glad. I always ask for feedback at the end. Was there anything I could have done different or better? You guys having fun?
You said one thing, and it was there were so many spells and sites that it would be useless to try to explain them, and then you explained them.
good.
You
Well, I
said it would
mean-
be pointless,
It's
and I
like
was just like sitting there like,
No, that so saying that there is so much to like, so many smells and sights, but then you can still point out some.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't
no,
want to
he
try
said
to list
it would-
everything, but I
he
wanted
said-
to give the general feel.
What he said was it would be useless and it would be awful. Like he made it seem like the worst thing possible, and then he continued to explain. I just thought that was funny.
It's like when a parent says, "I'm at a loss for words," and then they lecture you for the next 2 hours.
Ha, ha,
No,
ha,
they
ha,
were
ha.
not lost for words.
Yeah. All right. I gotta go eat
Exactly.
dinner. I'm
Yeah.
being called 5 minutes
All
ago.
right.
So
All right.
have a good
Bye,
one, guys.
Bye.
Talk to you next time.